Today, we're getting the Platinum Trophy for the game Horizon Zero Dawn, a game where there's evil robot animals that eat people and the only thing between you and them is a bow, spear, and a prayer. I had already gotten a good amount of trophies for this game in my first unfinished playthrough, but because I previously spent too much of my free time playing Pokemon cards competitively, and I lost my save data along with my dead PS5, we had to start from scratch.
You guys ain't cool. You're lame.
The game begins with our adoptive father, Rost, praying to some goddess known as the All-Mother to bless our name. For an unexplained as of yet reason, we're exiled from our tribe by the ruling matriarchs. I don't know what rules we could have broken, we're literally a baby. We spend some time as a toddler trying to make friends with other kids, but their teacher plants the roots of racism into them, like any American would. We then run in anger and fall into a ruin of what's known as the Old World. This place is forbidden, so I guess we're doubly banned from the tribe now? We find this device called a Focus that reminds me of something that Apple would try to sell me, which can be used to view video files from these old ones.
Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
The way she repeats that is really creepy. It also lets us view machine weak points. We use it to immediately help this loser who fell, but he's not allowed to talk to us because we're the outsiders. Like, bruh, if you're gonna fall into a pit full of bloodthirsty machine animals, and you need the help of a preschooler to get out of that, I think you're the one who should be an outcast from society. So this little blonde buddy who moments ago didn't know what segregation was is now hurling rocks at our skull. Oh, they grow up so fast. We choose not to get revenge on him because I already know karma's gonna hit him like an 18-wheeler. In order to find out why we have no mother and we're outcast by the tribe, Ross tells us we can win the Proving. Finishing it allows us to regain status in the tribe, but being first place specifically allows us to have one request granted by the matriarchs. Now that we've grown to babe status, we're able to enter the Proving. We venture off to our capital city and meet some interesting outlanders that I'm sure aren't important whatsoever, especially this dude who also has a focus device on like us. We meet little rock-throwing dirtbag again and talk some smack back and forth. And here's Vala, someone I'm sure will be very important and live through the whole game. When we finally enter the Proving, we take a shortcut to cheat our way to victory. But then we're all attacked by some evil organization and everyone dies. Anyway, these guys are also wearing focuses too, and their hulking monster of a leader tries to kill us himself until we're saved by Rost, who also immediately dies. We wake up inside All-Mother Mountain and find out we look exactly like this random middle-aged lady, and that's why they came to kill us. We were also found inside the Goddess Mountain as a baby. A big door scans us, but has a corrupted alpha registry, so we're not recognized. So the matriarchs grant us the ability to break the law, which we were planning on doing anyway. We fight this military machine called a corruptor that can control other machines. We rip part of it off, allowing us to gain the same ability on our spear to override limited classes of machines into helping us fight or becoming rideable mounts. We meet this dude who is the brother of that chick we met at the Proving. He wants us to find his mommy. While tracking her, we come across our first Tallneck, a massive machine we can copy map data from. We find Mommy War Chief and set fire to an enemy camp together. Then her son comes by and we tag team 4 more enemy bases. Those were legal ruins, but I guess since I'm above the law, so is everyone around me? And we took them all down in complete stealth mode. We travel far through desert terrain and stronger enemies to reach the capital of the Karja, Meridian. Erend, who we met before the Proving, is drunk because his sister just died. Allegedly. But he helps us break into the spy Olin's house to investigate the hit-out on us. He breaks down the door and tells us not to break anything. So...
I did say not to break anything, didn't I?
In the basement, we find out Olin's family was kidnapped and a lead on where he might be now. Erend also wants us to help find out what happened to his sister, since he knows our focus will help us see new details. But I'm gonna ignore that right now. We find Olin and the cultists at a mining site dedicated to digging up ancient corruptors, and get a call on our focus from a mysterious helpful stranger. I'm going to take a more disciplined approach here.
The Norgirl lives. Kill her!
How did they know it was me? We take down the cultist camp and interrogate Olin, who reveals the cultists, called the Shadow Karja, worship a machine voice named Hades.
But there are others, much bigger, bristling with ancient weapons. Those they call Deathbringers.
I wonder what they bring. Hugs, maybe? Olin says he's seen an image of a woman we resemble at another location we can investigate. We jump back to Aaron's mission, we track the assassins, and fight some of them, putting the puzzle together that these enemies have sonic cannons and faked the sister's death. We return to Meridian and meet the Karja Sun King. His father loved to keep slaves and do blood sacrifices, but this new king removed the old and made it a place for peace. Mr. Sun King has the hots for the missing sister, and we get word of where she might be held captive. The kidnapper Durval has some machines chained up outside of his base for experimentation, so I choose to do a bit of experimenting with those machine parts as well.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
His base is booby-trapped
Booby traps. You said traps.
with a sonic device, but we forcibly remove some ear protection from the guard to get inside. Aaron's sister is alive, but only long enough for some expositional dialogue, learning of an attack on Meridian that's happening right now. But we'll ignore that. It's not important. We have mommy issues to unravel. We find our first cauldron, an area where machines are made. Taking down the boss and doing the final override in the area, we gain the ability to override more machine types. Finishing all cauldrons will get us a trophy later. Speaking of trophies, on the path we end up destroying a behemoth, which was the last transport model of machine we had yet to destroy, finally earning our first trophy of the video, the aptly titled All Transport Machines Killed. We go to another ruin of the old ones. When in the center of the base we find a partially operational Deathbringer. We notice a focus on one of the fallen enemies, and the ominous voice named Hades calls us the Entity. It's nice to have a pet name. Hades is clearly some sort of evil AI bent on world domination. How original. We discover another, mountain womb, as the matriarchs call it. But this one's not corrupted, so it recognizes our DNA as Dr. Elizabeth Sobek, and opens to allow us entry. After some quick platforming, we get to the office of Pharaoh Industries and recover a few video files from this Jeff Bezos-like dude, who gives off the same energy as that guy from Spider-Man Miles Morales. Pharaoh begged Dr. Sobek to help him stop an army of human-eating robots he invented called the Peacekeepers. Honestly, seems like something that would realistically happen. Their plan to save humanity is called Project Zero Dawn.
He said it! He said it!
We finally talk face-to-face with Silence, the dude who's been tucking in our ear for a while. He's pretty rude and is using us for information gathering on the old ones. Inside the next mission area, there's some door puzzles that are pretty simple to solve. More enemies. Another Deathbringer is brought into this world through the miracle of childbirth. It's going to be super easy to take this one down just like last time, right? Okay, that's my first legitimate death. So yeah, we take the correct way down this time. In this boardroom, we see a bunch of suits discussing how the only option to make Zero Dawn work is to throw meat shields at the enemy to buy time for its completion. Fun! We craft a plan to crash the enemy focus network. But let's wait on that. First, let's go down this slide. Whee! We return to Meridian and disarm Durval's nuke in the most Aloy way possible.
Will we survive?
Probably not. Now push.
Probably not. Oops. Then we find a secret passage to the throne that Durval made and catch up to him. Thanks to our trusty stolen earmuffs, we're able to save the king and enter the toughest boss fight yet. Look at this guy. Oh god. They despawned. God dang it. The king basically asks us to marry him, even though his girlfriend literally just died. Now for some trophy-related quests. one of which is getting all Blazing Suns, so perfect score basically, at all the hunting ground challenges. First challenge of the ground was to use the rope caster weapon to tie Glint Hawks down to crit them. It took forever, cause Glint Hawks suck. Next was tying down tramplers and shooting off their bellies, which I got perfect on first try. The last at this location was to loot Watcher bodies before they're carried away by Glint Hawks. Another first try Blazing Sun, earning dual trophies for getting any suns on all trials of one ground, and getting all Blazing Suns on one ground. Earning those trophies more than qualified us for activating the Hunter's Lodge side quests. In order to become a Thrush weakling, we need to be sponsored by a hawk, and there's this jerk Sunhawk, the leader of this cult. He's a racist, but he points us towards this baddie named Talana. She talks about this Thunderjaw machine named Redmaw who gives a trophy. Talana says she'll consider being our dominatrix if we whip some parts out for the Sunhawk. Look, I gotta spice up the script at this point, alright? We gotta kill some weaker machines and take their trophies to her as symbol of our simpage. Look girl, I only simp for Haley Steinfeld, but we'll make an exception for the upcoming trophies. We head out for a few marked locations and collect the needed machine trophies. Talana finally agrees to be our cult sponsor after an additional forgettable side quest I decided to leave out. But we were just sent off to obtain more trophy kills for a Thunderjaw and Big Bird. But when we go deliver those, we find out the Sunjerk and Mommy Talana ran off after Redmaw without us. So we gotta go save their asses. Redmaw yeets the old guy, and it's just us versus him. And he's gone. Glad I'm on story difficulty. We loot the body for the trophy, and visit Batty to officially obtain the real Redmaw trophy. Time for a second hunting ground. We have to light the butt canisters of Striders on fire so they'll explode, killing other machines. This took quite a few tries to get the hang of, because sometimes the explosion would miss other enemies, or the fire arrow would kill the Strider instead of, lighting it on fire. Next was to freeze machines and then destroy them. I forgot I had freeze bombs and a sling, so freezing them with arrows left me with a couple of failed attempts. The last one took many attempts. You have to paralyze a Bellowback and shoot the canisters off from beneath them. I had to watch a guide eventually, and it taught me there was a hidden compartment to shoot off underneath it to reveal the correct parts. I was unknowingly shooting off his breasts, not snipping his balls like I needed to be doing. Cleared up the remaining map fog by overriding the 4 remaining tall necks, even though we have that trophy already. With that, we found the 3 last cauldrons to clear and gain the rest of the overrides, as well as the trophy for finishing those all up. The next ground was by far the toughest, some stealth missions. First was to stealth strike 4 Watchers while hiding from Stalkers and Shellwalkers. We chose to unlock 2 stealth-related skills specifically to have a chance. The attempt we finally got it, we also popped a trophy. The second task was looting Shellwalker shells. You can only loot them on the ground, and not only were fewer spawning than we needed, they also kept getting picked up by the Shellwalkers themselves. If we downed the machine carrying them, the box would explode. These first 2 tasks took nearly an hour, but we finally got there. The third was just destroying 2 Stalkers, a really simple task. We got the Blazing Sun first try in a fraction of the allotted time frame. The final hunting ground just tasked you with obliterating machines with their own cannons or overriding them to fight with each other. Pretty simple, pretty fast, pretty fun. Received the 3 Blazing Suns within just a couple attempts and earned 2 more trophies. Okay, well that one died in one hit, so. All suns, all grounds, and then is there one for all Blazing Suns at all grounds? Yep, Blazing Suns at all grounds, let's go. Alright. Nice. Back to the story. In order to crash the focus network, Silence sends us right into the main enemy encampment. I'm sure this will go smoothly, right? We do stealth for a bit until we reach the top of a modified tall neck to crash the focus network and meet Hades. Face to face?
Entity has come here. Entity miscalculated. Entity cannot destroy me. I am beyond its reach.
Maybe you are. But this isn't!
The tall neck falls and we're assaulted by an entire army, so we have to run for our lives. I mean, I'd like a nap. Yeah, most of my deaths are just me falling. Oh, what did I say? Silence doubles down on having a turd for a personality and tells us it's time to go to the pit where the Karja used to sacrifice people by the dozen. That's also where the leader of the Eclipse is. The Sun King's brother is the Shadow Sun King here, and he's just a little baby. This Lady Vanasha shows up to flirt up some side quests for us later. We enter a cave beneath the ring and enter the womb-like door to find. But yeah, we're learning some real learns here now.
He said it! He said it!
There's a lot to unpack here. But basically, Zero Dawn is a plan to get the world's best minds together in a bunker to ensure humanity will live on, but only after the unstoppable end of the world created by these Pharaoh peacekeeping robots. They create an AI named Gaia along with a bunch of programs also named after Greek entities in order to reboot life from the corpse of an uninhabitable Earth. The machines that roam now were meant to revitalize the environment to a state where biological life could live again, while cloning pods underground repopulate humanity. Apollo was the wealth of human knowledge that was lost somehow, and Hades was the program meant to take control and wipe out the planet again, but only if Gaia failed on its first attempt to breathe life to the planet. Because of course, the solution to saving the world from robots and AI is to create more robots and more AI. It's like making Ultron to stop Skynet. There was this cute little door puzzle where the answer key was installed upside down. We see Gaia actually learning and caring about life due to the influence of Dr. Sobek. We find the Alpha Registry here, so we can copy it to our focus so we can fix All Mothers. But we're attacked by the Eclipse, and wake up in the Sun Ring, ready to be sacrificed to a behemoth. With all our gear just outside of the cage in easy reach. We listen to the evil monologue of Daddy Ross Killer Helis. He sent a group to go unalive all of our Nora people, so I guess we'll be saving them while restoring All Mother. Time to play El Matador with this big bull guy. The pillars are knocked down to get our equipment back, and take the behemoth down swiftly. After that, we're evacuated by Silence. Way to get off your butt for once and do something useful.
Hey, can I be your guy in the chair? What? You know how there's a guy with a headset telling the other guy where to go? Like if you're stuck in a burning building, I could tell you where to go because there'd be screens around me and I could, swivel around them because I could be your guy in the chair. Ned, I don't need a guy in the chair.
Our focus and the registry were destroyed, but just like the FBI agent reading your text, Silence gives us a new focus with all of our files backed up to it.
Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
Wait, what the fuck? As we return to Nora territory, everything is in destruction and we have to save them from corruptors and corrupted machines. We use our focus to copy the Alpha Registry files into All Mother, and we're recognized this time. Good job. Inside, everything is what you probably expected it was. This is a birthing chamber for what would become the first of the second wave of humanity. It seems it ran out of resources and the robot overseers sent the children outside to fend for themselves. A message from Gaia is revealed. She was attacked out of turn by Hades and as a last resort to stop him, used herself as a weapon to wipe out each other. It was unsuccessful, so in her last moments of life, Gaia used the stored DNA of her own mother, Elizabeth Sobek, to create a daughter of her own. That way the daughter could use her DNA profile, being recognized as Elizabeth Sobek, to access any of the Gaia systems necessary to potentially bring her back to life, while also being able to access the Master Override to destroy Hades. The lack of Gaia's oversight on the world is also why the derangement happened, which was an event 20 years ago where peaceful machines started becoming aggressive. As we return out of the womb of our literal mother, the Nora all bow to their newfound savior. We're given a trophy to boot. I'm not going to go into too much detail as all of these are uninteresting and this video is probably going to be way long enough. But there is a trophy that requires Vanasha's side missions to be completed, and we also have to do another handful of side missions in order to unlock a specific story-related trophy in the future. So I hammer those all out here, and at the end of Vanasha's side mission, we get a trophy pop. Oh, aided the defectors. That was a trophy. With our endgame prep in place, we venture off to Gaia Prime to find the Master Control, without ever taking fall damage. What? Brother friends would stream. I would just... Again, I just fall to my death. Inside, we're greeted by the last words of Elizabeth. A door failed to shut completely in this bunker, alerting Hades to where they were. In order to seal the door from the outside and keep everyone safe from both the toxic environment and the death machines, Elizabeth chooses to be the one to sacrifice herself. Further in, there is a room vacuum sealed without air, filled with the bodies of the heads of Zero Dawn. Our buddy, Mr. Pharaoh, has decided that Apollo's knowledge would be a curse on the new human race, since, of course, he used his own knowledge to accidentally bring about Armageddon. So he deletes all of Apollo's files, deletes all of the air from the room, and deletes all of the heads of Zero Dawn. Yeah, it makes sense. Finally, an explanation as to why we don't have running water and air conditioning. We're able to obtain the master override from this room and have the means to defeat Hades, but not our true archenemy, gravity. What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? I was about to fall to my death. I was just a few minutes too early on my prediction. Silence finally relents and tells us his whole backstory. He is the one who found and restored Hades because he's too greedy for knowledge. In exchange for physics and calculus, he built the eclipse for Hades by tricking the Shadow Carja into believing Hades was their god. Hades' plan is to get to the spire just outside of Meridian, using it to reactivate the biomass conversion feature of the machines. AKA, he wants all the machines to eat people to extinction again. We're gifted Silen's Lance and equip the Master Override to it, getting a powerful weapon trophy. In Meridian, we alert the Sun King to Hades' plan. He'll back us with his whole army and apologizes for trying to use us as a tinder rebound. Checking in on the rest of the cavalry, we have... Teb? Crap, we're done for. Varl starts simping hard for us now, but at least Erend and his men have their minds on task.
Like our kind of fight. Right, guys? Well, where do they put the vanguard?
At the front of the line!
And why?
Steel before iron!
And what are we gonna do?
Hit him like a hammer till he can't hit back!
When we lay down for our final rest, we obtain a trophy for completing those optional side missions earlier. In the morning, we awake to explosions and war. Helis blows his way into battle to start the true hardest boss fight of the game.
You should have fought me in a firing bed.
Oh my god. Yeah! That was even harder than the hardest boss fight against that other dude. What was his name? Derval? Yeah, that whole part wasn't edited. We choose not to let him carry on, because I really like looting bodies.
Chosen. Hades only chose you because you're a fool.
I've done all the... That's the first aggressive choice I've made in the whole game.
Your whole life was a failure. And soon, no one will even remember you. Turn your face to the sun and think about that.
Nice. Revenge for Rust. Oh, I can loot him. Dropping to the front lines, we're given this awesome grenade launcher thing to obliterate the machines here. It goes on for a while, but again, we're on story difficulty, so this was no challenge. Taking down the last machine for this section pushes us to level 50, receiving our final level up trophy needed for the platinum. We're blown up and only fall unconscious somehow, but when we awake, find the world on fire. Pushing through the highway to Hades, good pun, right? We see the biomass conversion activates as Hades reach the spire. We regroup with Erend, Simp, and Mommy Hawk here at the end of the line. Reaching the top of the spire, we meet with Hades and the final fight of the game.
Arrival of entity has been anticipated. Entity will not halt transmission. To contrary, calculations are precise. Presence of entity has been accounted for.
Wait, is it just against the vanilla Deathbringer? So that goes down without a fight. We plunge our lance into Hades' face, and hip hip hooray, the world is saved. Right? Aloy visits the final resting place of Elizabeth at her family home, finding out that Elizabeth was saddened that she was childless and hoped that she could have had a daughter with the power to save the world.
Hello, old friend.
Oh.
Remember me? We've still so much to discuss.
Jesus H. freaking Christ, Silence, didn't you learn your lesson? Now we still need to finish cleaning up some points on the map. First, we go finish up the remaining corrupted zones left over, as I only tackled ones directly in our path prior. Then we have the main collectibles: metal flowers, Banuk figures, mugs, and vantage points. I scanned a Red Eye Watcher during the collectible hunt, and it was our last scan needed for this trophy. And another one pops here for overriding 7 different machine types. We needed to finish finding all the remaining power cells to unlock the best armor in the game. Turns out I had found 2 out of the 5 on my own during the story. While looking for one of the last metal flowers we needed, we ended up in the cave Aloy found her original focus in as a child. The second to last metal flower was obtained here, as well as the 3rd power cell. At this point, I opened a guide and realized we missed a power cell in Allmother Mountain. And the final one was atop Pharaoh Tower, so we made the excruciatingly long trek back up there. Entering the last uncharted cave to find the final metal flower for its trophy, we complete the last 2 door lock puzzles using those 5 power cells we have, and obtain a broken Halo suit. I open the menu and unlock a skill which pops a trophy for all skills, even though we haven't gotten them all yet. I guess some of those are DLC. Checking the trophy list to see what's left, I noticed that the full completion percentage we currently have, including the DLC, is 69%. Nice! Back in game, we open the Halo loot crate to obtain the Shield Weaver armor and its trophy. Wow, this thing has an actual shield, that's pretty cool. For the final trophy, we just had to knock down all the remaining Grazer training dummies. Using the guide, we smacked them all down, but the final one was locked behind a bandit camp that I had neglected to take over since I had the bandit camp trophy already from the first playthrough. After the camp is converted, the last Grazer dummy is down, giving us its trophy. As well as the Horizon Zero Dawn Platinum Trophy. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe down below, because those are of course important to the YouTube algorithm and help make sure that you don't miss out on any future videos. You can also check the description box down there below, because that has a link to my Discord channel where I post a lot of updates, as well as a link to my Twitch channel where I, play through a lot of these games. You tell them, say, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. It's important for the YouTube algorithm. Meow. No, you don't want to do it either? Alright. Be that way, you bum freeloader.